Got a couple 194Ts on my desk. The first one had a scored piston and cylinder, so that one is not in the position to be fixed. Customer didn't want to spend the money on it. The saw has been abandoned at the shop. It's been sitting here for about 5 months. So we are going to donate the handle off of this to another saw. We had another tree company. The climber had the saw fall out of a tree, busted the handle, and we need the handle assembly off the other saw that's junk. So we're going to get that swapped out and see if we can get the customer saw fixed and back to him today. So let me set you guys up and I'll show you how it's done. So the first saw on the right hand side is our donor saw. This one's got a really bad scored piston on there. The piston, top end, all the repairs, everything else, and there's some other stuff that the saw needed, was going to be over half the cost of what a new saw would be. So the customer decided they did not want the saw anymore and abandoned it at our shop. So now we are going to scab some parts off of it and see if we can get another saw fixed. Normally in the past, when I first started the business, we would throw some of this stuff away, take off, the bar and the chain, stuff like that was still good, maybe the carburetor. But for the most part, we'd throw most of the stuff away because a lot of people didn't want used stuff. And now the times have changed. Everything's a lot more expensive. Everybody's running short on funds, it seems. So if we can save somebody a few bucks and help them get back into business, that's what we're going to do. So try to help as many people as possible. And by scabbing parts off of used stuff, that is an excellent way to save some money. Get the fuel out of this guy first so I don't have a mess. Anytime you have a carburetor on the saw, you're going to have some pressure build up. So you always want to dump the fuel out. Otherwise, when you disconnect the fuel line, see, that had straight gas in it. There was no mix in there. Got a few tools. Got this guy. I actually sell on my Amazon store, so make sure you guys are checking that out. It just fits right there on the fuel lines. You can grab it and pull it off like that. Just makes life a lot easier. So if you do not have one of these, make sure you grab them. Like I said, I've got them listed in the Amazon store. Get this washer off here. This bar and chain are not in too bad a shape. Somebody might be able to use that. So nowadays we go through and try to scab off any parts that we can, down to the hardware, because somebody can always use something. everything is just getting ridiculous as far as pricing goes for especially some of these plastic parts. It's insane. There's literally nothing to it, just some molding. Like this whole handle assembly, if you bought everything set up, I think I looked, the price is like $110, which is just completely ridiculous. So that's what that looks like inside. So a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle. We're gonna have to try to get it back together. This one's a lot easier to work on than the 201. 201 is really a pain to deal with. But I've made a couple videos on that. So if you guys ever get into that and you have forgotten to take pictures and videos of it, go look up the videos on my channel. I try to do some detail ones that would make it easy for you guys to put back together, because I have been there with frustrations. You got to get the tank vent to release. These are a little bit of a pain to get out sometimes. Just got to make sure you don't pry on this and crack it. If you do, you'll have running issues. You'll be leaking fuel and stuff, so you don't want that to happen. How we doing, Jeff? Thanks for tuning in. Gotta get our impulse line out. And of course our boot, manifold boot, got that pulled out. Let's see here. All right, that is everything. So that is complete. Nothing damaged. I'm just going to blow this off real quick. Get all the sawdust off. All right, that should be everything we need off of here for now until I start digging in the other one. So let's do the same thing to this saw. Start taking everything apart. Sometimes these springs down below get bent and mangled when the stuff falls. This one appears to be fine. Took the blow on the handle assembly, so just really depends on how stuff gets dropped. Each one are a little bit different. Almost every single time a top handle gets dropped, though, it's a handle assembly that I have to deal with. They usually fall there for some reason. Get the fuel fuel dumped out of this guy. This particular one, when it fell out of the tree, you can see that chain got bent pretty good right there. So we are gonna get the chain swapped for the customer. Get it put back together for them. And so we're going to do everything that we just did on the last one. Pull this washer ring off. Got to get the tank vent. Take this handle assembly off. This one broke on both sides, so I'm going to have to replace both pieces here. So again, I'm going to take everything off. All this stuff should be fine. The spring looks fine. The wires look fine. That should be good. Now let's do all the stuff down here. All right, and we got everything disconnected on this one. So that all broke off there. This other piece, that's all broke off. So that whole assembly's junk. Everything on the last one's good, so we can get that swapped out. I'm gonna blow this off real quick. Keep some of this crap from flying down there. Most guys that have top handles don't clean them. These are one of the most abused saws that I see. All right, I'm gonna blow this off. My compressor might kick on, so if it does, hold tight. All right. Get the last little broken piece off here. Now we can start reassembling everything. So we're going to go through and start where we took the very last thing off. Get all this stuff reconnected. On this project, needle nose pliers are your friend. Some of these parts are a little tight fit, so if you guys have ever done these before, you know exactly what I mean. This one is the biggest bugger because the hole is so small that you can't get your needle nose pliers to open up very well. And of course, can't really tie a piece of rope around there either. So all I need to do is get a little tail of this stuck through there where I can grab on from this side, and then we'll pull it through. Almost got it. Try one more thing. So I got my rounded end tool right here. This is what I use when I'm pushing stuff and I don't want to puncture it. And we got success. Get other lines right there. Get a manifold. Grab that and pull it through. All right, so now we can start the process of putting this puppy back together. So I know this is going to be hard for you guys to see. Do the best I can here. So these wires and stuff are only going to go in one way. And I use my rounded end tool to push them into place. All right, so we got all that stuff. Go ahead and get this put back into here. Got that little stud. There's only one spot for it to go. The 201's got a lot more to it. All right. Now the fun part, I got to try to remember where everything goes. I got everything videotaped, but I'm showing you guys and I'm not watching my videotape, so try to do some memory here. All right, I think I nailed that one. So let me blow this out. I love these little magnet trays that I got here. Number one, you don't lose stuff because it's magnetic and it holds it down. But if I get multiple things going, I got a big project, I can use different trays to store the different parts to it so I don't get them confused. Because some of the hardware looks the same or similar, but it's a little bit different. Different threading, different size, different length. Okay, so we got all that. Get the tank vent put back in. That's one less thing in the way. And all that stuff has its own special place, so you can't really mess it up. And then the good thing about the trays are, once you run out of stuff, you know you've used everything. Where if you start throwing everything on the counter, you could, knock a screw, knock a bolt, something like that, and forget about it. Hold on, I got a customer. Hey, good. How you doing? What can I help you with?
I seem to have an issue.
Yeah.
Got my blower out here a number of years ago, and
All right, we are back. Just had a bolt come loose on a BG86 that was snagging on the flywheel and wouldn't let it work. So a customer had it all tore down. I was able to fix that in 30 seconds for them. So worked out good for them. Got their units take back with them. As much times as I can, I try to get stuff right back out the door if they're waiting here. I work on stuff so quick. I don't just let it sit around and rot. Some of these repair shops, I mean, stuff will be sitting there for a long time. They won't fix it for whatever reason. They'll dink around. I prefer to get it right back out the door to the customer. Because obviously, I make more money when stuff is picked up and paid for than I do just letting it sit on my shelf. But it makes a happier customer too. And a lot of my guys are using their equipment to make their living, so they can't be without their equipment for an extended period of time where it costs them money. So I get it. I had a landscape business for almost 20 years before I did this, so I know how it is. Let's put that choke rubber on first. Hold on a second. How we doing? I got your chain sitting on the side of the building out there. Yep, you're good to go. All right. It's been actually a busy day. Haven't had a whole lot of breaks between people today, so that's good. Mostly chainsaw blower related stuff, which obviously it's the season for that stuff. We've been behind a few weeks on our trees turning over. You know what? Forgot a piece. Gotta get that plastic piece under there so I can mount the air filter. That's what happens when you lose your train of thought here. Blow it off too. There we go. Make sure you didn't put it upside down by accident. I honestly don't see a lot of 194Ts coming in the shop for repairs. Most of the customers that I deal with are running 201s. So that's the one that I'm real familiar with. I would say this summer I probably do at least one a week. Somebody's dropped or neglected, hasn't taken care of it. So, okay, let's just do a visual here. Something popped off there, so I'm gonna open that back up. That's the thing with these top handles. Yep. That's what it did. Popped right off. Man alive. This does not want to stay on there. And see why I say make sure you guys take lots of pictures or videos when you're doing this, because it makes a big difference if you don't get something in just the right spot. All right, that should all be good. And I'm going to clean off the air filter. This one's filthy, but you can clean them off with carb cleaner most of the time. Top handles are notorious for being dirty and neglected, and this one's no exception. So just blast these out. See that dirt coming right off? Not brand new, but as close to new as we're going to get with the used filter. So save the customer just a little bit more money. And we got that junk chain, so we're going to throw this other one on here, which is good. But that's a 14-inch bar, so that is not going to work. Well, let's see if we can get this guy started. Make sure we did everything right. And there you have it, folks. One more saw done and out the door. So customer will be extremely happy that got that one done for him. So I will give him a call and see if he wants to pick it up before I leave tonight, because I know he was pretty bummed when he dropped it because he was in the middle of a job. So this might brighten his day a little bit. Like I said, get him back to making money. So there's the chain. You can see that bent pretty good. You can try to bend it back, but it's pretty messed up. So, and as you know, I do not replace drive links, cutting teeth, anything like that here at the shop. I do have all the tooling, and I always let my customers know they're more than welcome to buy all the tools to do it themselves if they would like to. I just do not make any money doing that. So it is not a service that I choose to offer. But that is all I got on this video. So thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow's Friday, Halloween. It'll be Halloween special, so I'll do some Halloween related stuff and see what I can come up with. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've got lots of other great content on there, repairs that come through the shop, tools that I use, just like all these specialty tools you can buy in my Amazon store. That is going to make your life a lot easier when you're doing these repairs. I can't stress that enough. There's other ways to do stuff, yes, but having the specialty tools will save you time, will save you frustrations, and time is money. So especially if you're doing it yourself. But again, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your night.